Hi, I'm Elizabeth Brown, and I'm a Foundations and Sculpture instructor at Memphis College of Art, and welcome to our, it's called Corrugated show. All the pieces here at the Dixon Gallery and Gardens are made out of corrugated cardboard. Students in my Sustainable Sculpture class this semester each made pieces with cardboard that was generously donated to us from International Paper. And the theme was nature and culture. So I asked each of them to create pieces with that theme in mind, and they used all kinds of techniques, from traditional woodworking and metals techniques, like laminating and carving. They even worked on the lathe, to less traditional techniques like knitting and incorporating other materials into their pieces. But they're mostly constructed of cardboard. Or corrugated, I should say. Hopefully, you know, a lot of sculptural techniques can have different levels of toxicity and can be less sustainable. So the goal of this class was to try working with materials that are more sustainable and also to be able to work large scale, like with Peter here. Hopefully, as the viewer goes through the Dixon, they'll get to experience the different works as they turn through different corners and different nooks of the garden. They're all spread throughout the grounds. So I hope that you enjoy the show, and welcome.
Hey, my name's Jonathan Rodriguez. This right here is a cardboard piece of an airplane. It's called an aerial bout. What it's supposed to represent is the kind of disintegration or the return to nature of like technology. So planes that used to be the height of their time, the best of the best, slowly disintegrating and turning back into nature form. So getting overtaken and taken over. So it, you know, slowly wilts and turns back into, you know, just nothing. What was interesting were making it the whole 15-foot long wing and the whole like 5-foot centerpiece and stuff like that. It was very, you know, big and to overtake or do by myself. But and I also used like planer, so I put it in slots, and I was able to put each slot into the form to take these bigger pieces. And now I know, like aeronautical engineers, it takes a lot of work to do like wings and planes and stuff like that in order to measure out each piece and stuff. So it was good though. I enjoyed it, and it was fun to learn like all sorts of different little techniques and stuff for it.
Okay, I'm Melinda, and this is Peter. He is made of interlocking parts, was how I got him to get over here. His head and his body and all of his legs are on pegs, which made it a lot easier to maneuver him in a car all the way over here. I like to think of him as like the elephant in the room, except the elephant you don't want to mention at all because he has horns. He was made a lot with like scored board, and then I maneuvered it around flat objects to make him volumetric. He has wood screws in him so that his head won't blow off and his body would be more stable. It turns out wood glue melts in the sun when it's real hot, which I didn't know. He has a spider web on him now, which is cool.
Nature is integrating.
Yeah, nature's like sup.
My name is Rick, and this is my sculpture, the Phoenix, and it's made from reinforced pieces, like triangles and squares, and scolded areas, like the back is made of scolded planes and stuff. And the concept behind the Phoenix is like about like life and death, because like in January I had like 2 people in my family die. So the whole purpose of it is like to kind of show that moving on, like trying to get past like those hard, difficult times. So the phoenix is like a bird that rises from the ashes, which is kind of like what you have to do in life. You have to kind of like pick yourself up and keep going. But yeah, that's my concept behind it.
Okay, hello, I'm Austin Williams, and I created a deer skull harp, and I painted it gold to symbolize a relic of, we use relics a lot to, I guess, to keep that form that we have in that generation and pass it on to our future generations. And I think that's how it is with music, and that's how we are today with all of our electrical music, is because we came from an instrument known as the harp, which was the first stringed instrument. And I just wanted to cherish that, kind of showing what we've been through to get where we're at today and our inspiration from the past. I constructed this, everything out of just one ply corrugated cardboard, and I used some sort of cardboard rope thing for the harp strings.
And this is my piece, Gunning. As an artist and a vegetarian, I've been interested in the connection between animals and humans. So I started exploring fighting techniques between animals and humans. And I've noticed that humans are the only species that use weapons. So I combined the culture of weapons with the natural instinct of animal. And it's got a couple layers. I wanted to say something on gun control by saying even a bunny can have a gun these days. And I also just wanted to make that comparison between animal and human fighting.
Okay, I am Rob McElhaney, and this is my pubescent carnivorous plant. I like to work with unconventional horror themes, and the theme I chose for this one is puberty, because I'm pretty sure everyone had a horrible experience when it came to puberty. But everything in nature goes through a state of change, and I was wondering, what if a plant's process of change was a little bit more like human puberty, and what if a carnivorous plant had to go through a period of braces before it could clamp down on its prey. So this is my pubescent carnivorous. But I made the head out of like a soccer ball type shape. One, because it was the easiest way to make a circle out of corrugated board. Two, it's still pretty solid even in the rain. So, and I wasn't a purist. I used a wooden armature to keep it standing, but it was a fun project.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Lee, and this is part of my installation here at the Dixon. Originally it was a 9-foot massive statue sculpture that had these pieces covering it, but we were moving it and it collapsed and deteriorated everywhere. So I had to come and kind of improvise a little bit, and this is what I came up with. Originally, I put everything together using slots and hot glue. The hot glue seemed to work better than the wood glue. And then I tied these up with fishing line. And yeah, it's fun.
Hi, I am Nicole Trimble, and this is my piece, I Like Big Bustles and I Cannot Tell a Lie. And I made it from like this weird twisty cardboard rope and also paper tape, and I just used like wires and staples to put everything together. And it's pretty much about gender expectations, and I just kind of wanted to use like the symbols of like the hoop skirt, but it's kind of like a little bit abstracted, and I kind of wanted to turn like things like lace and that into like more like natural looking things, and so the lace is like growing up on the tree like it's, you know, ivy or something like that. And yeah. Oh, and this is called a maiden's garland, which is like this Victorian symbol of like girls who died virgins, which I thought was really creepy. So I just wanted to talk about like how stressful gender expectations are. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Olivia Logan, and this is my cardboard piece for the Sustainable Sculpture Gallery. It kind of has two names. It's called Hippocampus, but I also call it something like Transcending Elements. What I did was I chose the image of a hippocampus, which is a Greek myth. It's a horse, or a water horse of sorts. It's like half horse, half fish, and in some cases it even had wings, so there was this idea that it could potentially travel anywhere on land, in water, or in the sky. So I had this idea to use this image kind of coming out of the ground, where normally there's, I'm sure when it rains a lot, there's a little creek down here that is full of water. And so I had this idea of it like kind of coming out of the ground and like changing in this transformative state from like water to earth. So, but what I used was corrugated cardboard. I used a scoring technique to get these curvature shapes so that it made it more flexible and you could move it. And then I built up those shapes and I sanded it down with a Dremel tool to give it a little more form in the face. And then I covered it with wax to preserve it and also kind of give it like a more dirty, earthy texture.
Well, my name is Nicholas Darmstetter, and this is my raccoon. It is made out of corrugated cardboard, and the title of the piece is Mischievous Raccoonist. He is going over to this spring, and he is going to scoop all the fish out of it as kind of an effort to try to get back at the humans that have taken over his natural setting. And I made him using a process called lamination, where I cut out numerous pieces of cardboard and glued them together with wood glue. And I used a subtractive style of sculpture where I took away from the cube instead of adding on to it. I used an angle grinder with a wood burr tip and a flex shaft with a wood burr tip also on that. It's a smaller pointed tool, and it's easier to get into the smaller details. And he's fitted together using dowel rods to give him stability, and he's finished with a polyurethane coating and a wax coat to help cover the corrugated areas where water would fill up. And he's supported by his balloon, and the balloon is what is carrying him over to the spring itself. And it is constructed out of cardboard tape, which uses just water to activate the glue that holds it together.
Hello, my name is Adrien, and this is my sculpture, The Pearl of Perseverance. The technique that I use the most in this sculpture is scoring the various pieces in order to make the body. And the thing that I was interested in conveying was a Chinese myth in which a koi fish, after it's lived 1,000 years, turns into a dragon. And when it becomes a dragon, it has to pick up a pearl, which is symbolized by the center of the fountain. And if it drops the pearl, it dies. So it's halfway between like life and death right now.